2025 is coming and the end of 2024 is drawing to a close. This year has been a very tough year for me, but a very achievable experience. My goals have been to keep myself fit and strong, physically and mentally, get my 2-bedroom apartment of my dreams on a mortgage, and be credit card free by the end of the year. Checkaroo. While making game content and streaming. I have to admit it has been very tough, not only saving money to get property and be debt free, but also saying no to recreation that I can't afford, even to my mates and family. Also, doing YouTubing and video editing while having a social life is another rough matter. Still, I managed to do it and stick to it. But to keep myself busy, motivated, and making the year go by as quickly as possible was looking into the DEI initiative rabbit holes, exposing Sweet Baby Inc. and showing gamers why 3/4 of modern day games in the West suck right now and why Asia is dominating. Not because of financial difficulties or another Great Depression, just mentally ill wackos that have taken over not just the gaming space but well established IPs and the very companies themselves to push the message and corporate greed combined. So what's next for me for 2025? Well, some good news. I got a pre-built PC on the way from Overclockers that should arrive mid-January, which will not only help make my computer run smoother, but also be able to play newer games that I couldn't before. Next, since I did a lot of videos of the Western video game industry incoming collapse and the DEI scandals, I think it's time to go back to where it all began, to show you all some retro gaming and how different studios were set up and what games they made, and how us gamers got it good in the glory days before the great demise of 2014 onwards. So yeah, Prisoner 1313 will be taking the spotlight for a while as I sit back and do more streaming. I'll still do some weekly roundups here and there, but I just want to focus more towards gaming this year. Lastly, I got a 3D VTube model in the works with a company. It's in the drafting stage right now, but hopefully it should be done by spring or the first part of summer. Those things do take a lot of time to make and cost a fortune, but it's awesome for marketing and it saves me a lot of time when it comes to video editing. What's great is this year I got a whole library of memes I created for myself and content I can use when discussing real-time events in the video game industry. So if we get any DEI or deranged studio developers or video game journalists come out to the water, well, I can just send people to watch my creative videos that simplifies and gives people the answers they are looking for. 2024 for me was the year into looking for answers on why things suck right now and uploading them onto my channel. I do admit the sound quality was not great at all, but thanks to your feedback and having the guts to brutally say it as it is, well, you got what you requested and that distorted sound rigging in your ear holes. Since I now have some funds and done all my financial tasks this year, and free from my credit card debt ball and chain ankle hold, I can start using social media again, like X, Twitter and Instagram too, to drive up some more PR. If anyone is asking if I'm going to do another cosplay project in 2025, well, not until the end of summer. As I just said, I got a VTube model to pay and work on with people. I got plenty of handmade cosplay costumes anyway, you won't miss out on anything. So if anyone is interested how I got my mortgage on my 2-bedroom apartment, well, it wasn't easy at all. In my second year living in my studio flat, one day I just woke up and I was just like, right, I need to get out of this dump. The boiler keeps breaking, I have a mouse infestation which is in one of my roommate's rooms that caused him to leave in the end, and next door's children won't shut the hell up at night. It was a Victorian house, so the walls weren't thick, let alone soundproof. And on top of that, I really wanted space. I mean, this is my studio flat when I emptied it out. There was the desk and computer that was below the picture frame. And that was my living room, dining room, and bedroom. I had a small corner bathroom, and that was my toilet, wash basin, and shower. Not a lot of room at all. It could be worse because some studio flats you have to share a bathroom. But what makes me laugh in shock of how much student studio flats are now, let alone 2-bedroom apartments. I can't imagine the bills on top, but when I moved out, the rent on my old place is the same price I pay for my mortgage per month. So yeah, work that one out. And don't get me started on New York City apartment rent rates either. I did have to share a kitchen and a garden, but luckily the 5 people I lived with, we all got along with each other, and no addicts or baby daddies or baby mamas either. But as I said, in my second year, in the summer, it was getting to people like me and others. My rent was 475 quid when I moved in, and that was all inclusive, no admin fees, or bills or council tax. But in the second year, I was told in January I had to pay up £525 due to the cost of living crisis. I mean, that's when you realise, yeah, not only that I need to move out, but the landlord is planning to sell the property off as quickly as possible. Plus, living in a studio flat, it's not healthy long term either, as the claustrophobia gets to you, especially if everything is in one space, and it's not a very spacious one. Well, I'm just glad I was not in those coffin homes in Hong Kong, let alone those sleeping pods in the William Gibson book Neomancer. So I made a choice not to rent but to get a mortgage. So not only I own the place, but also my payments on bills and repayments on my mortgage will be far less. I made a choice to put half my paycheck to my lifetime ISA each month. Also, there is a scheme where every time I saved up to £4,000 into my savings account by the financial year, which is the 1st of April in the UK, the government will give you £1,000 on top. So after so much dedication and savings, the big day arrived and I found the home of my dreams. My offer was accepted, my mortgage lender approved me, the solicitors got to work, and I had to wait 2 months to get the keys in the end, since I was a first time buyer and the place was vacant. Eventually I got the keys in June 2024. Though I got the place, unfortunately I had to spend a bit more and I had to use my credit cards to get a new washing machine, a fridge freezer and cooker, plus pay extra in solicitors fees as I wanted the keys as fast as possible. As I said, the boiler broke and there was a mouse infestation that my sleazy landlord didn't want to know, which made me have sleep deprivation for months. Man, I will never forget the phone call I made to them when I told them I was leaving in 10 days and screw their 4-week notice policy. And now I officially settled in this month and I'm now credit card debt free. So as I said previously many times, 2025 is going to be the year when things are going to be full steam ahead for ESG and DEI initiatives. The girl boss Whaman is coming. They already created the modern day slop years back and they can't cancel it, let alone change the already made titles coming up. And it's just going to be remasters over remasters. So all I can suggest is remain vigilant, and whatever happens to those studios or activist cooks and weirdos, they had it coming, they only had themselves to blame. We have been there, we have seen it. And I bet any normal sane person would have done the same, not buy their shitty products and watch them crumble into nothingness. It's time to show people what gaming is really about before it went mainstream, and 2014 onwards was when creativity died. We're getting less and less games, and apparently only body type 1 and body type 2 are allowed, as male and female are too offensive apparently. If anyone asks why I don't put out content more sooner, well, it's because I like to make art, not slop. Plus, being a true media is not my thing. I got too many other commitments in my life. I want to do things because I want to enjoy it, and I want to get things right and challenge them before I look like a right prat. I live by these goals. Get at least one weekly roundup video out per week. Get one game review done every 2 weeks. No fast reaction content or slop content, like just talking into a microphone at first glance over something and talk nonsense. Only create art. Integrity must always come first and change for no one. And lastly, enjoy the journey of making a kingdom. Those things are difficult to keep up, but hey, I did it since February 2024 and I'm still here and got my financial accomplishment in between. If I didn't, I'll just end up hating myself and end up going mental. I've learned how to video edit and learned how to get quality sound again. Plus, 1 year of testing the waters and what kind of schedule works best for me in the upcoming years. I hate reaction or swap content with a passion because the individual isn't even trying, and really, that content is for 10 to 21-year-olds. They just want to keep up with a certain drama, but they don't have all the facts. And ultimately, it's just stealing another person's content they just work so hard on. If it's just a one-off to make a point or to criticise in a tasteful way, then fair dues. But talking at first glance and just regurgitating words all day every day, nah, that's not for me. So in conclusion, 2024 was financially hard for me, but getting my first 2-bedroom apartment on a mortgage, it had to be done. I mean, the rent price for a 2-bedroom apartment these days is ridiculous to rent in the UK. But now it's time to have some recreation again, and I deserve it. Though I can't travel abroad right now, as I've got a V2 model to pay for, but it's only going to be for 6 months. I've got a whole lot of gaming to catch up on, and more videos to edit. So, I wish you all a happy new year, and a whole new 2025. Make it a good one, lads. This is Wugsy15, signing out.